Well, Chief, yes, let's see indeed if is he going to be able to come through with the saves. It does feel indeed that this is one of those drafts where, you know, Spirit's very much sat down and said, you know what, all these teams keep picking this Ringmaster, bailing people out. You know, this game, he's not going to be able to save anyone, or he's going to struggle massively trying to get someone out of the team fight with how much stuff's just going to be on the ground.
Pretty much. They're like area control in team fights on Spirit looks terrifying. Probably one of the scariest ones that I've seen. You have the Calling, you have the Rolling Thunder that's coming in, Pit, Firestorm, Ice Path, like, it actually just looks really scary. So for the side of Tidebound, a little more chaos that they need to probably develop at their draft, and I think Nothing to Say is he's one of those to watch. Speaking of him,
they found him. Caught him with the Avalanche, the Firestorm laid down, he's gone. First blood for Miposhka.
Quick ward that they give to Radon to place top. They are expecting this move this time around, so as soon as the smoke breaks, they see the heroes, they bring the squad. Yeah, Nothing to Say yesterday, he was a crucial element to the side of Tidebound.
He had a crazy game. Well, both of them. The Ember Spirit performance and then the Pango performance.
Yeah. Radon will take quite a bit of a beating here, the percent damage coming into play there. But they've got 3 heroes, so now they could actually look perhaps.
Bach. Yeah, he might be in trouble himself here with ruined Miposhka turning back round to help Radon out.
3v3.
Planet trying to help out. A burst Radon will be able to bring him down. Bach gets another hoof stomp off.
Nice sidestep for Bach.
See if Rue can get out alive. He can't. So, at the end of it all, to get the 2 for 2 here to start the game off.
That was honestly a little beautiful sidestep there coming in. He dodged the Muerta's dead shot, which maybe allows him to get that little extra touch there. So nice little exchange, 2 for 2. Did the cores get the kills? No, they didn't. Support's claiming it all. D-Ward's coming into play. Poshka, we'll find that one. So we'll plan it.
Now let's see how this mid goes down. Definitely
the one to watch.
A massive potential for the Pango. You wanted to see the Pango come through. Yeah. It just looks like a great Pango game?
I think to me, it's looking like the best answer from the mid lane versus the Ringmaster. Just period. You just find the ring, roll on top of him, it's devastating. Even not finding the ring can just be fine because all of your spells go completely through the box as well too. So I've just been, I don't know, this hero's just been owning in this tournament too. I don't know, some of these mid laners just pop off so hard if they do start off kind of well. And could we actually get the, sorry, I think you guys brought it up before. Could you bring the Pango stats up again for me? Because I know we've seen a lot more Ember, and the Ember stats are pretty crazy at this tournament, but Pango also is boasting
pretty good.
Absurd win rate.
Absolutely, yeah. 75% overall here from the Pango.
Oh, what is this level and deny? This is new, right?
It's definitely new. I don't know if that's you know, some magical technology we have here at PGL, or if that's in game. But yeah, whoa, what's this as well,
dude? What? Okay, consumable.
Okay, this is indeed a magical PGL technology. Very cool.
We've got last hits, consumable spends, and it shows their levels with the experience breakdown inside of it as well too. That is nice. I like that.
That is because I guess that's one thing the UI misses, right? When you're looking at laners, you don't know what the level progress is of everyone else in the game.
Nope.
But now you can see sort of how the levels are going on. Very cool. Very cool.
And I guess it shows underneath the last hits and denies right above it. Is that the amount of times they've killed the hero or died by the hero, perhaps, it looks like?
Oh, I think we had that one before.
Oh, we did that.
That's been there.
Well, I look at my monitor a lot of the time, so apologies I didn't know.
Yeah, but the other stuff, that's definitely some new tech.
Okay, cool. Lanes? Across the board, looking fairly even right now. Bach getting these extra denies. I think we've talked a lot about this about Centaur, where he tends to get these extra denies if he gets off to a hot start because of that insane base damage. Even though he's versus tiny, you just have great animation and damage. And Miposhka, as we said, every time, he's got the Icebreaker, so always will be playing around that. And yeah, looking at the way that Spirit set up their draft, it's a lot of control, right, that they've gone for. We do have a good amount on the side of Tidebound too, but definitely nowhere near as much team fight, Owen. Like, that's just nowhere near as much.
Well, I mean, what is their team fight? The Wheel of Wonder, right?
It's Wheel of Wonder,
it's kind of that.
And that's pretty much in a Stampede, right? While Team Spirit, everybody, I mean, Muerta spells are both kind of this weird team fighter, but yeah, everybody else has massive ways to control fights. Bottom, Shiro. Secondary pit.
Yeah, gets caught in the pit a second time.
Can he get out with the blood grenade? The Lotus.
Rue wants him. He's not going to get him.
Got a dead shot in 5 if he can get the snipe.
Does he try for it?
Shiro's healing up, so he should be okay.
He's not going to go for it. Feels that it wouldn't be enough damage. Obviously unlikely to get the connection.
This is definitely the lane to watch for kills, I would say. the deceptiveness of some of these heroes can actually trick you up, right? You have a Ringmaster who's going to have his souvenirs that can come into play, and then, of course, Shiro being able to death pact constantly. They could be deceptively tankier than maybe you expect when you initially go if they do have that strongman tonic up, or if they do have these charges on the death pact. Is Root eating some harassment. The double range down here. Definitely showing their strength.
Oh, top lane planet.
Winrun, he looks okay. Miposhka in trouble.
I mean, he does have Lotus and another dual breath, so if Miposhka wants to turn and throw it down if Planet gets too close.
He distances himself. Is there going to be a power shot? No, it's not enough. Can't get the angle either.
This is obviously time pulled away from the lane, so more freedom for Radant. Whilst Miposhka's taking the two of them for a bit of a walk.
I'm happy to see Clinks, just because I think we've been seeing literally the same 4 carry heroes every single game.
It's like, oh, is it going to be another Terrorblade, another PA? And, we're getting something a little different.
Yeah, I think last time I said I'd like to see a switch up of a hero. It ended up going quite horrible. But anyway, Clinks, I think there's definitely some possibilities for this hero to be good.
Yeah.
Miposhka, this time they'll find him on the sideline.
I've been tried 2 times this tournament, so a very small handful of games, but it's won both of them.
Yeah, and I'd like to just, I want to see it. Of course, we have the S-tier heroes. They're S-tier for a reason. They are that strong, but yeah, good to see the teams are still willing to slot in.
Because you got to imagine there's heroes out there that are definitely underpicked right now.
I would absolutely.
Sort of how much focus there is on a very, very seemingly small pool compared to sort of some of the other metas that we've been in.
Maybe they won't be as strong, but no way they're like a full 2 levels of, skill in comparison versus these heroes. There's mid lane. Look at this rotation. Level 6 already here.
They're going to go straight away with the Rolling Thunder. Immediately using that lull to set up onto Nothing to Say. And no chance of any backup coming in to save. Oh, going to turn over towards Y as well. Catch him in the trees. Miposhka able to snipe his courier on the way out. Won't be able to kill Y, but still getting away with this mid as Tidebound just don't really have the way to turn up and do anything to stop that sort of play right now.
And there's no way to protect him. He even comes with the skate back, but it wouldn't matter.
It's not going to do it. It's not going to save him.
Right through. It's going to rip him to shreds. That's why we did say we'd like this Pango pick quite a lot here for Laurel. And I did have to highlight, I was waiting for this type of situation to happen, but we mentioned Nothing to Say, how important his game is, right? This is not an easy Ember Spirit game. Some of these situations we've seen these Embers picked, it's like very little control, no silence. Everyone has control, and there's a silence in the game.
Why? He's getting gone on. He's going to have Nothing to Say swinging over. We'll look towards Rue.
That shot will connect.
And he's deny himself to Roche Rue. He's going to try. That kill still goes the way of Shiro.
Wait, Shiro got him.
I was going to say, yeah, Shiro just turns up and gets it with the tar bomb. All right, easy kill for the carry.
Over the wall. Does get that setup kill. Miposhka in a... It's an interesting position. Is he looking for a courier or just... Okay, no ward. So just like on an adventure, I guess. I'm checking to see if there's a Fiend's Gate online, so maybe he's hunting before... Nah, he's not level 6 yet, though. Okay. Just on an expedition. 4-4 in this start. Shiro, top of the net worth, only by a small margin here versus the Tiny. But the big difference really is that mid lane right now. Nothing to Say, 2,500 net worth versus the 3,100 of the Pango. And overall for Pango, an easier game for him to enter in. Yes, there's some control for him, but it's by no means the similar control that they have versus Nothing to Say on this Ember Spirit.
Yeah, they just don't really have a great way of sort of finding the Pango at the start of the fight and stopping him from getting the Rolling Thunder off.
Pretty much, until they have the blink on the Centaur, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to take a long time because these Centaurs, they don't build it as their first, sometimes even not the second item as we've seen lately. It's been Blade Mail into maybe a Crimson or Pipe. Then they go for the blink, perhaps, in some situations. So, shall see what they go for. Collapse, 6 is hit. Fiend's Gate is online. They've sent the trap bottom. They have 3 here, which means they can send 3 anywhere, so they can bring the numbers. So Tidebound have to be ready for those numbers to come in. They are looking to set the trap on mid lane, Laurel.
See if he can get his way out of this. He's looking to get the Rolling Thunder off. Won't be able to get the chance this time. 4 heroes surround him.
Good positioning there from Shiro, too. Just getting that wrap so the extra damage comes in during the chains. And they turn this into tower. They do drag the wave, so Shiro is going to be able to apply some pressure here. Yeah, no reaction from Spirit. Not looking to take that fight with the Fiend's Gate. Probably expecting it was too late.
And Nothing to Say, are swinging down here. But yeah, Spirit already out.
That's a really nice move, though. Now they have the Illusion Room, too. Looking for mid lane, Miposhka.
They're going to try and dive in for this. Nothing to Say leads the way. Lars turned back up.
Shiro is tanky enough to be able to distance himself as well. So they can't actually go for the kill here.
Now they'll keep the tower alive for now, Spirit.
I like that move quite a bit. They're bringing the two cores just to play around the mid lane to shut down Laurel and enable Nothing to Say. Jungle time for Collapse. Not going to deviate, I don't think, from his build that we saw every game that he did. Just the standard pipe. Maybe you can throw that, probably that Lotus, Crimson, eventual Gleipnir, Nullifier, etc. He's done the same exact build every game, and this game feels like it fits the archetype for it as well. And yeah, he's got stacks to farm, which this hero, as we've seen, does farm pretty well nowadays with this Demon Reach. Shiro and Y want to contest. They know that these stacks are occurring. Feeling that strength at the moment. Strongman tonic in Y's Souvenir.
Now Shiro wants to fight.
They want this mid tower. He's just gonna force it.
Lyle does have Rolling Thunder.
To say.
The tower's gone.
Up by the initial ice path.
Into the silence. He's able to jump out just before the Rolling Thunder comes in, and he's got enough remnants to get away. They did attempt as well with the Fiend's Gate to try and find him after he remnanted out. They won't catch him. Lyle, he's going to swing back over, look towards Planet. Planet turns with the burst onto Rue. He's going to bring Rue down very low as well with the Impale Lance in on him. The Ice Path and the Dual Breath. Ashira just stands his ground. There's Nothing to Say, comes back in, gets the slight change off on him. Eposhka, they get the kill.
Planet also almost gets the power shot snipe there onto Root. They're bringing the numbers on Tidebound, and it's working. Able to claim that tower in Spirit. Not layering their spells in the best way. It looks like they were hesitant on initially going for the Ember, but they could have probably killed him if they instantly rolled, because they had the Ice Path, the secondary, and the silence. Just a little hesitation from Laurel to go for the play.
And a big difference so far in how the carries are choosing to play, right? We're getting Radahn continuing to just focus on the farm, whereas Shiro, he's been very active on this Clinks. He's consistently swinging over to the mid lane to look to get involved in those sort of plays.
I think this is what we've seen from Tiny, though, just every time, right? 16 to 18 minutes, he's coming to every single fight, but until that, like, 15-minute mark when he has either that, the Echo Saber or the Shadow Blade / Blink, depending on which route he wants to go, they chill. But yeah, then they turn up pretty much every single one of the fights. It's power shot mid.
It's close.
That was, I wonder how close it actually was. Just a couple of HP getting that kill shot off. Like that they put this emphasis on mid. They were, seeing that Laurel was having a bit of an advantage, and now they have put a lot of moves to take out that tower. Laurel does have the diffusal done, so it does hit a bit of a power speak.
Eposhka might have found something here.
The roll.
Got the Stampede. They want to try and bail Planet out of this. Nothing to say.
They are playing this nicely here, honestly, on Tidebound. They are just dodging the ganks.
Yeah, they're just not letting Spirit get a grab on them.
I'd love to see it right now. Nothing to say. How many remnants does he have left? He is running low on them. He has one at the moment. Power Rune. Nothing to say. He's hesitant to step up versus it. They have the 4 catch for him there. Throws a casual poke. They're getting Laurel low every time they do these pokes. Still a little fragile at the moment on Laurel, since he did do the rush of the Diffusal Blade. He doesn't have treads either. He actually only has 1,000 HP, so a power shot and a slight chains puts him at like 20 to 30% HP at the moment.
They're going to try and make a move. Losing their towers, though. We're seeing Tidebound get these early tier 1s.
Yeah, Shiro is being, as you said, incredibly active, and he's queuing up the Deso route. So
I like it. I mean, with the way they're playing and just, he's seeing the mid route.
Gets caught again. Nothing to say. Picks himself up another one. Almost the Mage Slayer finished, and yeah, their burst damage that they're gonna have with the Deso, with the Ember, the synergy
good
between the two of them, could definitely see that squishy Pango just die, right?
Yeah.
Like we were saying, just a couple hits plus the slight chain, and he's gone. Laurel.
He's got the invis.
The push here. It's a 3-man ice.
It is, and the backup's coming in. The Fiend's Gate's going to be there this time. They're going to get caught off guard massively. The 3 of them stepping up there on Tidebound. Spirit very much ready for that one. There, a little bit of a misplay there from Tidebound.
Yeah.
Walking up, holding each other's hands there with the 3 of them. It's as if they forgot there's so much AoE coming out from Spirit.
Miposhka literally landed on
that
all
easiest
3 of
ice
them.
path of his life.
All spells just hit right on top of him, and evening things
that's,
completely.
Up until that point, it's been smooth moves. That one, back to the drawing board. And that one for Tidebound. That was not their finest.
And honestly, we'll see it again. When you have these type of plays happen, and it's with an Underlord on the team, you see exactly what Collapse does. He gets these kills and he has plus 200 damage. So he goes to jungle and he just wipes
Super
those
fast
neutrals
farm,
in 2-3 hits. That's quite a bit of a blunder there.
Yeah, that's a massive one. They won't be doing that anytime soon again, Tidebound.
No, yeah, look at his damage. Look at this. The cleave is enormous, and he still has that plus 200 damage to be able to farm off of it, so... do love to see how big the demon's reach can actually get. It's pretty hilarious.
Is there a limit, or it can keep going?
Pretty sure it's infinite,
I think it can keep going, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Dire are scanning.
It says there's no limit, so... I think the most I've ever seen was like plus 400 something, I want to say, but yeah, still. You can see what happens if you get a couple kills in the team fights, how fast you can accelerate. Pipe will be accelerated massively because of that, Laurel. Now we do see he has tread, so slightly tankier. They got to watch out for these ice paths. And it's not like this is a situation that just is completely unlikely to happen to. Team Spirit has so much, as we said, floor spells.
Yeah, so you just can't stand near each other.
You have to be careful how you stack up on the side of Tidebound.
Radiant are scanning.
What did I say? They're sneaking forward here with Bach. They've got the Blink Dagger on him.
He's going to go in. Got the jump forward. I mean, backup's here for Spirit. They can fight back. They're in with the Rolling Thunder. They've got the pit. And the Ice Path down under nothing to say. He's gone. Now with the Rolling Thunder from Lyle, he can turn over towards Y on top of it. Sure, they get the kill, but they're pushing really deep for these plays, and Spirit are not going to let them get away with that.
And Spirit's completely set up with 5 heroes. And, I mean, even if not, they have Fiend's Gate to potentially be able to join if they didn't have everybody. Those spells are going to land. Like we said, there's a million floor spells that they have to cover versus nothing to say. He just gets brought down in an instant on the Ember. And Radon, now he's turned up.
Yeah, they can't afford to go for these crazy moves on Tidebound. And I feel like they don't need to as well, right? Do they need to be going this crazy for the kills?
They're looking for the fight.
Bach is going to lead in, but again, the Ice Pass down upon him.
They're bursting Radon.
Decently tanky. Radon and Deep will be the first to fall. Bach will survive.
Even through the pipe, they're able to do so.
I'll push them off. So we can get something else here. Chains onto Collapse. To the Tame.
Nice play. Still showing, they're like, they used all their ults. We can fight versus this since they used everything, and they're right to do so. As it's also around Tormentors.
Yeah, they could head over for that little lone Bach.
That's okay. They'll blink out.
Yeah, he's got to chill.
Yeah, just blink out.
I mean, Planet might have to chill as well. He's going to get pretty low. Yeah, he'll chill. He'll back off. They do it. They get the Tormentor.
Super nice move, honestly. As you see, just isolating him, completely trapping him inside of there.
Yeah, and just coming up here with the Blade Mail, you know, Bach sort of stands there, tanks up a lot, soaks up a lot, and returns a lot.
He literally was the only one who got hit, right? Bach soaked every single one of the abilities from Spirit there as they strike back. A 3K lead for them after running into that 5-minute overextending of Spirit. They reestablish things themselves, too. Nice back and forth. Yeah, I was very impressed with the way that Tidebound was able to play yesterday, even at these disadvantages, too. They were, yeah, quite impressive, to say the least. After having a bit of a rough showing in some of their games, so yeah, definitely happy to see that.
No, they've cleaned up their act. They've had some pretty good highlights.
I think we're in for a really nice game this time around now, too. The way things are just kind of balancing out constantly. Both teams looking to take trades versus these cooldowns, and that's how Tidebound has to play. Force ulties, and then look for perhaps those fights afterwards, since they do have a bit of a disadvantage in those team fights. When they're all 5v5 together, of course, if the ults are ready. Shiro buys the shard.
Yeah, prioritizing it, right? Getting it before finishing the Deso.
We've seen, I mean, we've seen multiple different approaches from multiple different players. This one, he's shown that he really wants to have this. Cool to see. Radon. A lot of damage.
They do have a lot, and a decent amount of control with the Tame and the Wheel of Wonder. Radon.
Is it enough?
He's gone.
Power shot to execute. They got him.
Oh, Bach. Careful, nearly dying to the Ancients.
Stampede to disengage, though, so they get away freely with that kill onto Radon again. Nice play.
And yes, it's just going to be that much easier as well once he's got that Deso. Just 500 gold off from having it, Shiro.
Yeah, I really like the way this works versus the Tiny, how you can just focus fire him. Like, just straight up commit your damage on, because Klinks does an absurd amount of burst. Yeah, Radon maybe not anticipating how much it is. He's 0-3 now on the Tiny.
There we go.
Top, nothing
ready with the blink. Lol. Closes in, escape path will come out, but the Ice Path's there. Still not enough, though, to lock him down. Nothing to say, actually able to jump out of this.
Nope.
Why? Can he get away from Lol? Lol pretty low on the mana. So why will make him work for it, and it's given the chance for Shiro to turn up and take Miposhka down in return.
Nothing to say, he's healthy. He's looking to continue fighting here.
So, not going to be able to chase Lol. Lol's fine. How's the regen room going? We'll have full health, full mana. They'll turn their attention over towards Collapse instead, which they will find. So once again here, with these fights that Spirit sort of trying to make themselves... We had that one being the reveal, really, of the Blink Dagger on Lara, right? They wanted to try and go for nothing to say. But even with the three of them there, they didn't actually manage to line it up to get anywhere close to locking him down.
No, even though they have the damage versus the escape back, they're like, uh-oh, we actually can't go through it enough. Even though we have all these floor-targeted spells, it's enough to save him. Tidebound. Two very nice moves to get themselves into a comfortable 4K lead now. Deso is done. Nothing to say is also identifying this game that there is a lot of control. He's not doing SNY.
No,
this is a BKB.
You've got to get the BKB.
Yeah, versus the silences, versus these crazy amount of stuns. Could absolutely save him. And we're seeing Planet do this almost every game. I did want to highlight this also. Going the mech. I think I've seen him do this on most of his 4 positions. His Gyro, he went for his own build because you have to play around yourself as Gyro. But yeah, seeing him go more for this aura route a lot of times. So extra healing could be huge in these fights. And Shiro has Deso. Those damage. Let's see how much he can do.
Now, with the way the last few attempts have gone from Spirit, what do you think the plan is next? What sort of big item timing are they looking towards?
I was literally just checking all that as well too myself. They almost have the Shadow Blade on Tiny, but they kind of have their big items. They just need to have better approaches into those team fights versus Tidebound at the moment. 'Cause yeah, they have all the timings that they needed right now. Everything else is quite a ways away, as Rue will be found.
We'll get the ult off. They're happy to use the ult themselves with the wheel.
Boom. They're finding a lot of pickoffs. And it's Planet, 4-1 and 9. This Wind Ranger is getting a lot done. These kill shots definitely coming into play.
And we can take these towers nice and easy.
Yep.
With Shiro and his Deso.
Hot stuff from them so far. Queuing up another BKB. Shiro's also doing so. Might even see Bach after his pipe queue it up. So let's see if Spirit is waiting for a particular item here, or if they are going to just wait for an opportunity to fight. Feels like they're ready to fight at any moment. They just need to have get the execution a little more cleaned up with the way the Tidebound's been able to play versus it.
I mean, how concerned is Spirit going to be if things do slow down for them with their lineup?
Hey, they scale. They absolutely scale.
They do? Okay.
Yep.
Now smoke time. At least from Poshka and Lyle. Let's see what they can find. At the moment, all the 3 cores of Tidebound are in pretty safe positions.
Stampede is at the ready, too, so you gotta... I mean, they have the control for it if they do land it, but...
And can these heroes kill the Centaur? Or is that kind of tough?
They have Fiend's Gate, so they have % damage that can come in also.
All right, they're going to try.
Sick. They are not doing it too close to tower.
I don't know if it's easy to go on this man.
No. If they
He's kind of hard to kill.
If they have the Underlord coming in, then perhaps they came in too deep.
And now they're ready to turn. They've got the Stampede and the Remnants closing en route. Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one, right? You see the Centaur, you kind of tease around with the idea on going on him.
We've had a lot of
You can't really go on him.
We've had a lot of games, especially near tier 2s, where people go for the Centaur and then they're like, oh yeah, this
It's a tough kill. You know, this is not a poor Centaur. Top 3 in the net worth. Bark, level 15, Pipe, Blade Mail, Essence Ring as well.
Mystical Essence Ring also.
Yeah.
It's got the magic resist on it.
It's a tough one to go for.
No, absolutely. And they get the Roche. That's going to be super nice for Shiro to play with this build that he's got right now. He can play very deep forward.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Spirit getting outmaneuvered from the side of Tidebound so far, 16 to 10. And the BKB's done, so nothing to say. He's got that protection. It's going to be a lot harder for them to chain lockdowning him.
Yeah, I mean, these BKB times are just huge against Spirit's lineup.
Yep, I mean, Shiro.
Yeah, you know, there's these early sort of team fights. I think Spirit would have expected more of them to go their way.
I think that bottom situation really caught them off guard when they were trying to pressure that tower and they just, Tidebound still took the fight. I think they were like, wait, that was our moment, but actually was not. As Tidebound, again, grouped up, looking for another play. They're playing fast, though. And I'm just constantly checking to see if any of these other items are going to be getting picked up soon. But not the case. They're going a bit greedy route, too, on the side of Spirit. Mantas before going for BKBs. Laurel's, of course, queuing up his Aghanims before wanting to go down the Nullifier route that we will absolutely see eventually versus the Ringmaster. Tidebound on the hunt. Feeling their power right now. Also, to point out, both supports, they have 4 staffs. So we mentioned a lot of floor coverage spells. Now they have ways to disengage out of it, too.
They're in.
Roll's coming through.
He's under the tier 2. Shiro's able to put the BKB. He's going to try and turn and bring down Radahn. Him and nothing to say, going full in on the Tiny, fully focusing him, trying to finish up the kill. They'll get the chains off again. Radahn, though, surviving. Nothing to say goes down. Radahn,
he's alive.
The final hit will get him. They get the kill.
They lose
it cost them nothing to say's life, and it cost them the Aegis. So they couldn't do here on the round 2 of Shiro's life.
Nice
Good.
power shot.
It just bursts through the Pango. Lyle disappears. Collapse is trying to get in on top of Shiro. The escape pack's there, but the pit's down, controlling both White and Shiro. Atos as well. Shiro trying to step away. Now turns back over towards Collapse.
Shiro.
Pretty beefy Bark in with the 2-man Hoostomp. Gets to jump on the root. Double edge as well. Shiro turns towards Maposhka, but Collapse is able to finish him off.
Collapse is the true carry, plus 200 damage.
The pit's back up as well. Now dealing with Bark, Planet and Y might be a bit too tough for him.
He can't.
As they'll be able to kite him up, take him down. So at the end of it all, very much still Tidebound's fight, despite Spirit's best efforts to fight back.
This has been what I've been most impressed with Tidebound the last few days, is just the overall team. Not just like 1 or 2 individual performances, it's everybody doing the work. Bach gets a 2-man stun, power shot comes through from the 2 of them. The supports live the entire team fight.
Yeah.
Collapse does an insane amount of damage as we see there.
Oh,
They have the numbers.
back in action, Maposhka, he brought back for this fight. Now the fight we just had over in the mid, so he's going to be gone for a little extra. Dead for 70 seconds there, caught on the bottom lane.
Beautiful plays really from them. Just full out committing, and it ends up working. Because look at the damage done, right? Nobody else really on Spirit is able to commit as much. Laurel in particular really struggling in these last few fights. Beautiful to see. And still looking to thrive. They're just continuing to play with these 3. The Centaur, the Ringmaster, and the Wind Ranger. We see it again.
And at the start of this fight, as we saw, you know, they had to really push for the tiny kill, right? Radahn took a lot of a beating to finally fall. And that did sort of give that chance, and I think that little bit of hope for Spirit that they could try and turn and take this team fight back in their favor.
I was just watching Collapse here when a couple of these kills started adding up. The cleave starts to come into play, but it's just not enough when they don't have these numbers at this point, even though that buyback comes into play.
And just Bark, completely unkillable, it feels right now in the Centaur. Now, for as much damage as we saw at the end, Collapse was able to build up. It doesn't matter. You need that and so much more if you're ever going to take down this Centaur right now. Bark in prime position.
And him and the 2 supports, they're honestly getting way too much done. They need to be addressed. The supports need to get gone on somehow. Planet is 7-1-12 as this Wind Ranger. He's got Greaves 4 staff, so the fight, they just have insane sustain on top of it all, too, with him.
Back on with the push. They get the tier 2 top here, Tidebound.
And Laurel likely needing to, now because especially the 2 frontliners have BKB, unless they can somehow chain lock them down with the Rolling Thunder, he has to get to the back line on this Pango. He cannot let them just free cast. Spirit, looks like they should just be able to get this Tormentor for free. Toss them where it's on top of it.
Just going to get the shard, just going to go the way of Maposhka.
It's a nice one. Rue, very close to having the Aghanims, so another layer of control that they're about to have on the side of Team Spirit. So starting to acquire that wealth, as we said. They weren't really waiting for any like big timings, but now things are starting to come together. We saw Collapse in the last fight with the Aghanims come into play. He's queuing up the Nullifier. You know, we'll see a bunch of them this game, like you said, versus the Escape Act. Jump top, Laurel showed.
They get the Hoostomp straight away, but no hesitation from him.
That was greedy, and now they can hit the high ground.
He's dead for 50 seconds, no buyback. That's gonna hurt. Spirit, what can they do with the 4 of them? They've got the fortification. Creep wave still coming in though, so Tidebound can stick around.
Big firestorm.
The pit set up onto the 4 of them. Ice Path as well onto Bark, but again, they sort of just have to, unfortunately, just ignore the Centaur from their perspective.
Absurdly tanky.
Sticking around, Tidebound. Zero. Oh, I got a Bark. It's the jump in. Nothing says he's going to commit in deep with the BKB. Straight over towards the 2 supports.
A little deep.
They'll pull back now with the rest of the BKB. Shiro.
Uh-oh.
Going to get caught with the toss back. They've got the Stampede and the BKB here to help get Shiro out of there. They'll back off for now. 5 seconds or so until we're going to see Lyle back in the game. Collapse. Trying to get a further catch, but Y's able to jump out of the pit in time.
They can distance themselves.
They'll get out of here. They won't get away with getting the barracks, but they will not overstay their welcome and won't lose anyone Tidebound.
They don't even hemorrhage a single kill. Spirit, they want blood. They're looking for this fight. They have their ults at the ready. Shiro.
Oh, Lyle was close to maybe finding a chance to set up with the Blink Rolling Thunder.
They have no BKBs on these two cores at the moment. Spirit trying to find a pick.
Dire are scanning.
Ideally on one of these two cores, they get the scan successfully onto Shiro. Bach links into them, but I
He's got no cares.
don't know if they saw him.
He's got BKB even if they do see him. So he don't care where he goes. Bach, they're going to turn towards him.
He should care.
Hey, I guess he should.
fine,
Okay.
he does.
Didn't get the chance to get his BKB off.
Oh,
They
and
just chain stunned him.
It's a huge
Oh,
kill.
yeah,
It's a
that's
gem.
massive.
It's a gem. One of the biggest kills they could have probably
Dude,
done. Even bigger than a Shiro kill.
I think Bach was there like with the same sort of mindset that I had. He had no cares. He's like, they can't kill me even if there's people. But they could.
You gotta respect
He's
the
just,
damage.
he's dead. He's not used to dying this game, Bach.
You gotta respect the tiny damage. He's
Yeah.
got Nemesis Curse now.
Look at that. Well, 2,300 damage coming in there from Radahn.
Centaur, especially versus like magic and small instances of damage, he's great. Versus big instances of damage like a tiny, he's not gonna be able to survive now at this point if Radahn is there and he's alone. Nemesis Curse, easily able to shred through him. Level 20's been hit too, so Radahn still keeping pace even though he's 1 in 4.
So nothing to say, trying to make a go in the mid. He's got the BKB.
BKB's gonna go down, he's gotta get out.
Hey, Lyle's looking to maybe swing over.
They're pitted.
They've got the Fiend's Gate coming in. The pit down onto the two of them. Lyle should be able to help try and take down White. White will attempt to escape with the escape pack, but a further pick gets dropped. White will get caught.
Spirit leveling up. Another catch.
And
too.
Radahn.
Solo plays.
He's just making plays on his own now. Shiro has to try and Hurricane Pike away.
We kept highlighting Planet 2 for that kill streak going.
That's a lot of
Look who
money.
just got it.
Radahn's kind of doing it. You know, it's been a slower game from him, but now when he hits hard. Sets up, gets that chance for them to bring down Bark up top, making these solo plays down bottom. This Tiny, he might have had a quiet entry into this game, but he could be potentially about to blow the game wide open.
Absolutely. I mean, literally one-shots Planet. Even though he's got Greaves, he gets hit by the combo with the Nemesis Curse, and he's just gone.
Yeah, now he's got the Revenant's Brooch. Radahn's going to be quite a problem.
Yep.
Scanning.
He can kill them. Yeah, literally one stun. He can kill almost anybody in one stun if they're not prepared for it on the side. Tidebound. Tidebound can't hemorrhage these type of kills again. Those are pretty big mistakes, giving up the gem, giving up the 2 supports. Ooh. BKB cooldown for 20 seconds on nothing to say, but they want to try to make a move. They don't want to be getting caught one by one.
Spirit's ready for this, though. They're grouped up themselves. Radahn, as we've seen, more than ready to just turn up.
And he's, yeah, as you said, Revenant Brooch is at the ready here.
Huge damage now coming out for this Tiny.
He's waiting on the high ground. He said anybody they catch will just get burst. Level 18 also for Underlord, on top of having an 8-toe, so further catch now also for the side of Team Spirit.
Smoking into this here, Tidebound.
BKBs are at the ready. Let's see if they can get the angle.
Dire are scanning.
Both sides just have such insane amounts of damage.
But good.
They pinged it, though.
Yeah, indeed, he held back there. Saw the smoke, didn't dispel after he jumped in, so doesn't reveal himself. Was more than ready to test if that was an illusion, and indeed it was. So Bark prepared.
These teams are so good about... I'll tell actually in a second after this fight, but... Radahn, stepping forward. They saw him.
Smoke dispel. Now Bark, he's quick! Straight in with the Hooston. They look to try and get the jump on towards Radahn. Shiro puts the BKB, bringing in the damage. They'll bring Radahn down.
No
Bark!
BKB for him.
Immediate moves here from him on the Centaur, setting up for such a play. Lol, try and swing back round with the Rolling Thunder, looking for Planet.
But there's no Tiny.
He's not going to be able to get him. Planet's out of it with the wind run. Lol, he'll roll up for now.
They don't have damage without Radahn.
A Collapse is trying to deal with Shiro. Shiro turns with the barrage. Root not going to get out with the TP. Collapse, he gets out just in time before Bark would have come in with a hoof stomp.
Hey, Owen, they find the best possible target. They find a no BKB Tiny. You know, Radahn, he did go a very greedy route with his build, and he's the one that gets caught first.
Yeah, and these blink plays from Bark, fantastic. You know, as we saw moments before, jumps in, illusion doesn't reveal from the smoke. Next time round, instantly he's ready. Dust, as soon as the smoke's dispelled, he's in, gets the jump on Tiny. He's playing fantastic here, Bark.
Yeah, and you can see the ease of entrance into those team fights as we see from our beautiful observers. The triple BKBs used, it's much easier for them once they get the catch and take out the Tiny to just take that fight. So I was going to mention these teams, they're so good at identifying the Pango innate. So something that a lot of these players have talked about in the past is when you're smoked, the radius of this fortune favors the bold sometimes can give stuff up like that. So they were very aware of this smoke position and the potential illusion bait. So it's kind of cool stuff there.
Yeah, they were so ready for that.
Yeah. Heads up, honestly, Bach is playing it super well in this Centaur, and it's a hero that we've seen do very well this tournament also.
Yeah, but I said was 72% or so win rate so far.
Back to a 9k gold lead for them. Nothing to say, will find himself some nice Lotuses. Again, Spirit still feel confident to take the fights. They just need to have Radon not get caught first. He can't get initiated on at the start of the fight. As you said though, BKBs, they're all back up.
Smoke on smoke. We saw Tidebound able to use this to their advantage last time.
Brew in the front lines.
Up to the high ground. So they want to try and go for a blind play here. They use the Stampede. Bark trying to go straight over towards him. He's found him. He's found Radon with the Who Stomp. Shiro laying down the damage. Radon, they've got to try and bail him out somehow, but the BKB's on for nothing to say. He's just going to force the Tiny out of the fight, chasing Radon immediately out of the team
Shiro's
fight.
isolated.
Back in action. Shiro's surrounded by Barks. Back in the Who Stomp. Shiro does still end up going down in the pit. They get the Wheel of Wonder, though, controlling the two of them. Buybacks now to come in from both. Shiro ready to return to the fight. Same to be said here for the supports of Spirit. The numbers still favoring that of Tidebound.
Lap's gone.
The position they have, the chains again on
Radon's
Talon
back.
and Rue. Radon will turn towards nothing to say, will be able to combo down the Ember, but he has got buyback available as well if nothing to say wants to return to the fight. Naposhka, focused now down by the rest of Tidebound, will fall.
I love these buyback use. I mean, it's very aggressive, but you know what? Why not? If they're going to throw their buybacks out, you do it as well on the side of Tidebound. And I think Collapse, is he short on it for a second there? He had the Gleipnir on the Courier, and then I think he sold it. And then he's short on gold to the buyback. Either way, doesn't have it.
Dire are scanning.
They can look for the Roshan here,
Amp
especially with
damage.
the amp damage on Shiro.
That was, I mean, Bach and nothing to say, really, just chasing the Tiny out of the fight. Radon literally has to run back to base and TP back in.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of crazy just to how easily Bark was able to find Radon. Especially considering, Radon, he was in a pretty safe spot. He was as far back as you could be, really, around the rest of his teammates.
They started,
but you see him go straight for him.
He's not smoked, and they started taking outposts. So the second that they get that information, they jump forward onto him. They couldn't bring him down in the initial go, but yeah, zoning him out from the fight.
Of course, these early sort of cliff walls they had set up, very much giving that advantage for Tidebound's jump there that hadn't been dealt with by Spirit.
Yeah, Shiro does get brought down, but does have that buyback, and it's fortunate for him that he's able to back up and get that Roche. Of course, if he dies here, could be very concerning anyway if he gets caught twice back-to-back, not having that buyback available, and Radon will have buyback available. But so far, Shiro has been playing a pretty good game, pretty clean game so far from him.
Is under attack.
Yeah, Radon going to do what he can to make sure he has the BKB ready for the next defense.
Yeah. He gets the, I mean, very nice neutral items as we see coming in for Radon. Not going to be the Nemesis Curse, but now he's got this magnifying monocle, which the attack range, Tiny already has crazy attack range. This makes it even more so.
Yeah, no, he'll be able to get it done. Disassembles the Echo, gets that BKB online.
Yep, and they're about to have Gleipnir also on Collapse. Level 20 has been hit. Tidebound with this Aegis. And they've got the Ags now on the Centaur, so Bach can even save potentially if Shiro does get caught the first time. Nothing to say, I believe he has the Nullifier done too. So can look to just stick on these targets versus these Ghost Scepters. Same thing to be said for Laurel though. He's got the Nullifier too. So we'll have to see if they can prevent the escape acts. Again, positioned around this high ground.
Radon, just going to clear the wave. Shiro ready to show.
Got the Echo Saber back up again as well. Brew reveals his positioning a bit there with the dead shot, but he has shown also he has Gleipnir, so we see how massive the dead shot AoE can also be when he throws it out. Shiro about to have Daedalus. He's going to hit so hard, Owen.
Somebody's got to get on top of this Clinks.
Spirit still playing around this ward area.
It's risky though, into this Aegis.
All right, eyes on these pits now too though, so just very difficult for you to avoid them. Now he's got the Gleipnir finished, the pits and the firestorms. Now that these BKBs, how are they all down to the lowest? I imagine they are, except for Box, right? 6 second, 6 second. Yeah, Box is 7 seconds. So initial BKB usages probably need to get them at least 1 or 2 kills. So once they wear off, the fight does get a little more complicated. Spirit.
Bach and Shiro leading the way for Tidebound. Spirit, no, they're very much keeping at a distance. They won't allow them to be jumped unless Bach wants to commit with a Stampede aggressively.
I think we're going to see supports. I mean, we've been seeing it more and more, supports building for themselves, and I think it really is because of this rise of Nullifier thing, too. Just the fact that if you build forces and all this, eventually just gets countered.
I mean, that's, yeah, you're sort of tempted to get yourself Shadow Blades, BKBs,
right?
Sometimes as supports.
Laurel, a little bit of a risky play there, going for that shield crash. He did get caught up there earlier. Planet goes for an attempt for a Rax, but yeah, a bit too scary for him to do so. He also committed for Gleipnir, so more control for him, bigger power shots, the whatnot. Miposhka will get caught, and they will lose that ward on the high ground too. Bach with another one.
Could give them that chance to push high ground here with the last minute of Aegis time on Shiro.
Every element is important for Spirit's high ground at the moment. That ice path is huge. Of course, it's not this Ags macro pirate.
Radahn.
Radahn.
Stepping up, he's going to get caught by the Hoostomp into the Tame the Beast. He'll get the BKB off still. Radahn trying to turn back over towards Bach.
They're on the back line. Why?
See if they can finish off the Ringmaster. Forced to the side of Wild. Get the Ghost Scepter off. Doesn't matter. They'll kill him off. They'll get the kill.
This is one of the first times Laurel was able to snipe him out before the fight starts. So 60 seconds, no Ringmaster. 50 seconds still left on this Aegis.
I mean, they might want to try and go again. They get the jump on a collapse. See if they can bring in enough damage to take down this Underlord. They've got the Stampede, the damage firing in for Shiro. It's enough to bring Collapse down. The Gleipnir onto Lal. Hope for anything more here, Tidebound.
Such a heads-up move because Spirit was all backing up to heal in the fountain. If they were actually closer, they could have perhaps gone for a fight there. So very good play from Tidebound.
Radahn stepping up. He's got the full combo down on the wall. Nothing to say, nothing to say. He'll get the BKB off. Turns, gets the slight fist stand, chains off. In fact, jumps in aggressively with the Remnant. He's looking to get in there. Shiro will go down the once. He's going to be back for round 2 here off the back of the Aegis. Bach looking for a chance to maybe get in with another Blink Hoostomp. Fear will catch on towards Shiro. Get the BKB off, jump forward from Bach. In with the Hoostomp onto Radahn. Shiro with the damage. They bring Radahn down, out for 90 seconds. Collapse to fall. Rune trying to fight back in with the Pierce the Veil, but soon to come to an end. He hasn't got much more to offer as him and Lal have to back off. Jump forward for nothing to say. In with a slight change nullifier onto Rue as it's 4 dead on Spirit, none of them with buyback available.
They're buying back to end the game. Bach comes back. 4 heroes dead on Spirit. Laurel, you're all on your own. They keep just addressing Radahn, and my god, the damage from Shiro.
That all off the back of these jumps from Bach, as I said, played this Centaur perfectly aggressively this game. Lal is going to try one last hold here to try and keep them off the tier 4s and the Ancient with the Rolling Thunder.
But they're just committing for it.
They are. They want to close this up before the respawns come into play for Spirit. The tier 4s are gone. The Ancient exposed. Collapse is back up. Will come in with the pit, trying to stop the push, but the damage here coming in, surely going to be enough. Move forward for Lal, but he's caught by the stun. The Ancient is gone. GG is called as Tidebound will take game 1.
They came to play today. A beautiful game 1. Honestly, super aggressive. It was never like...
Thank you very much, Nomad, and of course Silent there coming into this game 2 here between Spirit and Tidebound. And indeed, we don't really see Nyx Assassin. We're getting it here.
Anywhere.
What's the reason with that? How's sort of your vibe with the hero right now?
I mean, they ruined him. You can't kill creeps, you can't do the style. You have to play a completely different style. You're back to having to just fight and look for pickoffs while also struggling to find levels and not contributing a lot in the lane. That is the biggest problem, I would say, about Nyx Assassin, that all the pros just have been, you just have to avoid it. What do you do in the lane? So we'll see what Planet's going to be able to do with it. I'm super curious to see how he's going to play with this. As we saw them point out, mana burn facet. So versus that Storm Spirit can be very, very annoying, of course, with the damage that you can apply. DK historically has been one of the best heroes in the game versus Nyx Assassin because of the play style that he kind of thrives with, where he makes your team group up around him. And it's a strength hero with like no mana pool that really cares about any type of these spells. So curious to see about this pick, if it is literally just, okay, we have this innate that allows us to detect people inside of the Sand King. You can find him constantly. And then the further break later on, and just a way to prevent and get some setup stuns. Super curious to see what he's going to do.
And then, of course, you're looking at the The decision as well in the end there to therefore have the gyros to carry. Do you like that this game round, or what was this sort of down to? The fact that they were running out of carries in the pool?
Yeah, I mean, they were just flexing it from the start until maybe they just felt this was a better option for Planet to play the Nyx. I'm not too sure, Owen, because the Nyx for me is still it's going to have to be a big question mark. He's going to have to prove it in the game to see what it actually does, because literally nobody's playing it in pubs. Literally nobody's playing it in officials at all, too, so we have to see what the potential of this hero really is now at this point. Used to traditionally be that storm counter, since you can always just drop the Carapace, you set up on these waves. Similar versus the Sand King, when he was starting to get popular again, since you have that innate and ways to always hunt him, but again, we're just going to have to see. Planet, a bit of a specialist, and especially in this tournament, each of these teams seems to have like a, ace up their sleeves of some of these 4 positions. We had Zayats playing his Shadow Shamans, Planet played a Gyro 4, and now we got the Nyx.
Pretty cool. And so overall, were you liking the fact that they went for the DK carry on Spirit then to round up their draft?
Yeah, it gives them a setup. I think it also just fits pretty nicely to be able to be that hard carry. I think this hero has been just underrated as well as a hard carry in general. Is going to go with the Corrosive this time around, so not going to be going down the Frost one that we used to see a lot of the carry players do when it was played more. They played more around the red until it got nerfed, and they went for the Frost. Now it's back to the Corrosive, it looks like, but I can see the merits of it. Easy setup for the lane, right, with the AA. In the later stage of the game, you have set up for the AA blast and the sinking follow-up afterwards.
And, obviously, after that last game, we very much saw Bart popping off. Is he going to be able to do so again here on his Beastmaster, or is it going to be a little tougher?
Let's look at things. I think overall tougher. I think Centaur just is looking... I mean, Beastmaster's a godly hero, don't get me wrong. But I think Centaur just is the easiest play style to play, right? You're just the tankiest hero in the game, right? So it's definitely an interesting one to watch. He is going to be queuing up this Dominator route, and he's gone for the Wild Hunt facet, which is pretty cool to see too, since he's playing versus the AAs, wanting to dictate pace of the game. But definitely a deviation. He's also playing versus AA, so maybe feeling like the Ags Rush is a little less valuable, since he's just going to get Ice Blasted in team fights, but see if this approach works for Bach.
And obviously in terms of sort of the support situation, Tidebound, why?
Getting run down.
It's going to get taken out here. Collapse finds the first blood. And so it's talking about why he's obviously going to have that save with the escape hack to be able to come in for his teammates. Spirit, they don't really have any ways of saving each other, right? It's quite an aggressive lineup. No direct way to bail someone out if they get gone on.
I think that was kind of the style that they wanted to go for this time. Just, all out aggression. All 5 of the heroes do have great ways to take fights constantly, either in fast-paced game or slow-paced, because they're not super ulti-reliant either on this draft.
Wow.
Clipped by an impalement. They'll double secure the power rune, or the water rune, sorry, to prevent Laurel from getting the fill-up. So nothing to say. We'll be happy about that.
And we'll see what Root can do on his Wind Ranger, because obviously after that game 1, right, Planet gave quite the show on the Wind Ranger.
He truly did. I mean, good call there. As Courier does get taken out, Don does end up losing his Collapse, taking a ton of damage here. The missile.
It's going to be enough to get him. They'll strike back on the top lane, get themselves a kill back their way. Tidebound.
Love to see some pivots from players, right? Usually you don't see them skill missile. Usually just barrage plus flak. He goes for the missile point in this one. He nets him a kill. Like to see teams and players adjust. So, I mean, I'm trying to think more about it too, by the way. So, I think the other thing, that besides just it, Planet maybe wanting to play a newer hero, since some of these players do get bored, and maybe he just sees something in it, is the lack of lockdown. The lack of ways to catch a Storm Spirit as well. This does give them a way to get the initial Carapace into stun, and then they can follow up with a Roar and a Rolling Thunder, because otherwise they probably needed an item to come out from the Pangle or an angle from the Beast. So, maybe just really wanting to have a double lockdown for the Storm too, because they were lacking lockdown.
And what are we going to see him build on the Nyx Assassin? You said we've seen Planet on a lot of these heroes like to buy like a mech. I imagine that's not going to happen. And are you still just buying Dagons? What are you doing on this hero?
I'm thinking it could just be these blinks after Arcane Boots to get set up.
Sure, you wouldn't mind a blink early on, or as early as you can get it as the 4, yeah?
Do you just still go Dagon? Do you just not deviate from what it was in the past and you just hunt the AA, right? Because he will just one-shot Maposhka in the backlines in a lot of situations, so could be another thing that they were maybe looking at. Not sure. I mean, this hero literally just doesn't get played anymore, so. Surround in the mid lane. Laurel Only level 5. Both supports are here. Nothing to say has the catapult wave too. Brew, or sorry, Y, on the side.
Here's the Rolling Thunder. Lyle's in trouble. Rolling Thunder sets up for Planet to move in. He's got a stun if necessary. There it is.
Easy setup. Nice rotation from these supports. Tidebound, a solid early game, 6 minutes. Able to apply that pressure to mid. Laurel struggling in this matchup again. Nothing to say, as we said yesterday. Truly styled.
Yeah, his Embers and his Pangos have been fantastic.
And he's looking, and they're
definitely the best.
And they're just looking to pick that form. It seems like most of the games because he is playing it so well. So again, he's going to be playing this Pango. Gets himself a shield rune, so a really nice one for these next upcoming 2 minutes. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to send Miposhka to mid. He's going to sap the XP while Storm probably finishes the 6 in the jungle. So Radon is left alone bottom, but yeah, it's in a matchup versus a Beast with a Nyx. So I don't think Radon's too fussed out here. That looks like it's going to be the old build, right? The safe lane DK that we saw do before. It looks like he was going for that armlet into Maelstrom kind of style build. Get that farm acceleration. Stacks aplenty coming out from Spirit. Not as many being made on this side of Tidebound, but a couple being made up here. As Collapse will be able to go back and get that farm up for himself. Level 5 on the Sand King will be able to surge up his net worth. But the lanes so far, 2 of them, Tidebound, having a very good time in them, and Shiro's being active.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
They know Radon's been left alone.
See how carefully Radon plays this.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Seems to know something is up.
Radiant's courier has been
Yeah, he's completely out of here.
Yep.
He knows that they're coming for this plate.
It's a good read from him. Still stepping back up here, so they might still linger in the area. Yeah, they are. He's contemplating if he wants to actually contest, but won't be able to. Bach. So this tower should be finished off, and I think that is the Dominator. So he's got it done. A very good timing for that Beastmaster when he's with a Nyx in the lane. So you've got to always highlight that.
Yeah, they didn't have a bad time down there.
Bach now, a little deep.
Collapse. Comes in with the TP. The stun and the roar to hold back Radon. Gives Bark the chance to run. Further TP's coming in now for Spirit. Zero get a good angle with the cooldown though across Miposhka and Radon. He'll step up and with the Rocket Barrage able to help take down Miposhka as Nothing to Say comes in with the Rolling Thunder. They'll trap Radon as well. Double kill for Nothing to Say. Collapse is trying to find Bark. Will get him, but it costs Collapse his life as well.
Power shot.
Puts the power shot, but gets cleaned up by Planet with the Mind Flare.
Tidebound, I mean, they're more prepared for this move. They just bring the numbers, they get the catch on the side, even though it looks like the Beastmaster's actually a little deep, little split things. I mean, we would have to see this replay again, but there was little things that actually allowed him to get away between a stun from the Nyx and I think a Carapace to halt the epicenter for a second there for them to get the distance. Spirit will get some trade kills, but Tidebound. Love the aggression that they're putting on here.
Yeah, they got what they wanted. As you're saying, at this point, it does look indeed like, oh, Bark, he's in trouble.
Was it a little Carapace stun? Yeah, it was the Carapace stun that stopped Collapse with the initial epicenter rev up. Because he would have probably killed Bach, and then maybe they could have done more with it, but instead, look how many times his epi gets stopped. That's once, twice, 3 times, and then he finally gets it off at the end here. Great plays again. Planet. We'll get caught.
That's give them a chance to put some damage onto the tier 1 tower down here with Radon.
Yeah, we heard from the end there too. He's hoping Silent was saying he hopes the storm pops off Laurel. Definitely struggling quite a bit here.
That's true. Bottom of the cores right now.
And he is going to be having to deal with the later stages of playing versus a Nyx Assassin. And Planet actually did queue up Blink, so I mean, he might still deviate. Right? He still might change up the build, but did feel like it's an option that you can go for since you don't have the other facet. It's a little harder for you to get in position at times. So let's see what he can do. Level 5 still on these 2 supports. Still looking to be active. The Rolling Thunder is at the ready. And nothing to say. We'll get that rune, so regen for this upcoming play too. Very solid entrance into this game at the moment here for Tidebound as Radon does have Armlet done.
Now
more of a farming armlet.
Sure.
Fighting armlet in a way, because like this is the corrosive dragon, so it's not like he has this big splash early on that can allow him to, like Mask of Madness armlet of the past that we saw in some of these situations on the red dragon. This one at least tells me that he maybe want to fight a little more. The armor is very valuable versus Pango, but there's a lot of damage. Like Tidebound does a ton of magic damage, so let's see if this pays off for him.
They'll be able to finish off the tier 1 tower down here, Tidebound.
Yeah, really cool approach from Bach too. As we see, just all in for the summons. Going for the Overlord, 0 points in axes, so looking to just play in the lane and apply pressure in the lane as much as possible. Level 6 starting to be hit on some of these supports. We do see Miposhka has the AA Blast. Planet also has Vendetta available. Let's see if they look to set up top. Looks like Planet does want to try here. There are sentries down. Looking to give some information. He sees Rue on the side.
He's got Shiro coming over.
Coming, they see him.
He's going to try and get the setup on a Rue, but Rue plays it smart, holds back the Nyx with the shackle shot.
Shiro. They're bringing the numbers. Pango from the sideline. By the way, a different build from Nothing to Say. He's deviated. Looking at the lineup, 4 heroes that do insane magic damage. Instead of going Diffu, he's going Mage Slayer. That's pretty cool, because he's got the save behind him as well, too. So if they throw like an Epi, an AA Blast, he could just survive it with the Mage Slayer plus the Escape
absolutely.
Act. Definitely potential for it. So a cool little pivot coming up from Nothing to Say. Power Rune. What's it going to be?
Zip forward from Lal.
Nothing to Say.
He's going to get caught by the stun here, Lal. Lal has to zip out. Very low on the HP. Nothing to Say is going to go for Collapse, who tries to power strike away, but Nothing to Say has got him caught. Sets up for the missile to connect.
He also gets caught.
Indeed, you can't hide from this Pango. Nothing to Say. He's always going to find you.
Truly killing it. Again, the Mage Slayer, he barely takes any damage anyway. They don't even have a point in Escape Act. They don't even need it to be able to save him. Honestly, Laurel is lucky to survive.
They got super low going in for that zip.
Yeah, I thought the wheel actually had turned him and had him under control, but he's able to get himself out. Tidebound, an even better start to this game than last time. And this is with a Nyx Assassin as the 4 position, so it's saying quite a lot, because this hero can falter in the laning phase. Jump again, Nothing to Say.
Tower's already gone. See if they can chase down the Pango.
They can. No points in Escape Act.
So if they can get anything more, they turn towards White. They'll find him as well. So they lose their tower, but Spirit back in action. Get themselves a couple of pickups.
And Radon, I believe, gets the last hit there. Nothing to Say, too. So the ideal pickup that he's able to get. Can look to push this into the tower here, too. Collapse will take away some of these creeps. Planet, he's stalking in the area. Does he want to look for this play on Miposhka? He needs a little bit more.
Yeah,
I was checking to see.
Can't.
I was checking to see if maybe the Beastmaster sent the summon, and then maybe you look for the play with the summon.
Hey, he might be able to set up on Lal if Bark's close enough.
All right, Laurel. He is not expecting this.
Bark moving in. There's the stun into the roar just in time.
Make sure those Croakers aren't near to steal it. Okay, good. It does push away. Push it away so no tendrils will take the kill from them. Planet. It's making the Nyx work, Owen.
That's looking good.
2-1 and 5. He's part of 7 of the kills. The lane in bottom didn't get punished, the fact that he had a Nyx Assassin, so. The helm is done. Hey, Bach, one of the earlier helms I think that we've seen in this tournament. It's going to be like 14 minutes. Maybe not the earliest, but one of the earliest I think that we've seen.
Yeah, he's just going to completely take over this side of the map.
Let's see when he receives it. I think I saw one a little earlier at like 13:30 in this tournament, so this might be the 2nd or 3rd fastest, but let's see what it is. We have the technology. Miposhka getting chased. It is the fastest, so 30 seconds faster.
Collapse has to come in to help him out. Miposhka.
Playing AA. It's like AA, Silencer, a lot of these 5 positions just dread playing versus these summons. Aghanim's already finished up for Shiro, so he's got that farming enhancer. He can fight with this build too because he's super tanky early on in the game. Top 3 cores on the side of Tidebound right now. And they're not squishy, Owen. I'm just looking at Nothing to Say how he's building. He's got Strength Treads, Mage Slayer, Ogre Axe. So looking to continue tanking up rather than being fragile in any way. Blink done for Collapse.
Back around the mid-planet.
Planet is here again. Laurel.
He's looking for the setup. Lal's not ready for this. The stun's there into the Rolling Thunder. Getting caught out by Planet once again.
You know, you don't play against Nyx Assassin for months. You kind of just forget that he exists.
It kind of feels like that's the case, right? Because I don't know if you want to be up there on the high ground hitting a tier 1 as a storm like that. It's rough.
Wild positioning, really, from Laurel. Planet makes, I mean, easiest setup ever for him.
It's tough. I mean, he's having a rough game.
He is. and definitely starting to get more and more difficult for him. 3 points now in the Spike Carapace for the setup. Naposhka.
They're going to find another one.
Freebie.
Spirit starting to look a little bit shaky here.
And it's around 15 minutes, so a free Tormentor that they can set up on the side of Tidebound. Tidebound, it's just a day of speed that every move is connecting. And Spirit, it's just slow. These aren't really hitting. Laurel's having some difficulties in this, both games in the mid game, getting picked off several times. And that Tormentor dies too fast for them to get a good exchange. They'll claim the tier 1 mid. But Tidebound can accelerate so much. They have great ways to take objectives. This next item, if Bach is able to get this finished up, I have huge concerns for Spirit. This is a godly pipe game. They're going to have Pipe Mage Slayer versus 4 heroes that are pretty much all magic damage in the early game until super late stages. DK, of course, will be able to do some damage through it, but...
He's pretty much got to do all the damage, yeah.
And he went Maelstrom, so he does have a little bit of that hybrid damage too.
Yeah, definitely looking tougher than
It's looking real tough.
than game 1, where Spirit did sort of have that chance to come back in the mid game a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tidebound's getting away with it looks like pretty much everything, right? Shiro's is completely untouched. As is Bach, even though he was in that lane, as we keep mentioning. Yeah, Pipe Mage Slayer has been the answer, well, one of the dream answers, it seems like, versus these Sand Kings in particular at times. But yeah, when you see just 4 magic damage heroes, it can definitely be devastating. Collapse. Looking like they're trying to set up a trap top. Nothing to say. Does have this ward on the side, though, so they are completely aware of this move.
Spirit are not going to have Tidebound sort of going for anything here. Tidebound are not taking the bait.
No, Spirit's moves just aren't hitting. Tidebound's all are. And they're getting this huge farm on the gyrocopter. I mean, BKB is soon to be on the horizon, too, versus all this magic damage. Top lane, Planet. The blink is done, so he can actually be the one that initiates fights as well. Planet's just running in. Look at
There we go. They're going to get the angle. They get the 2 of them into the Rolling Thunder. The bounce back as well. Collapses able to still Burrow Strike away. So he'll survive for now. And Poshka will fall.
I'm surprised Planet didn't just stick on top of the Sand King. Lets him get him out of there a little bit there. But either way, Planet. And this Nyx is doing so much work going. Truly is. 2-1 and 8 on it. Able to find all the grabs. A Blink Dagger 18 minutes. It's quite early, and he will find the D-Ward as well. Spirit's in dangerous territories.
How do you make plays as Spirit?
It's very difficult. And Radon, yes, he's got damage, right? Armlet plus Mjolnir, but he is not, you know, tanky. He's tanky in HP-wise, but there's so much hybrid damage that Tidebound has. They'll be able to just rip him right through before he has BKB. I believe the pipe is almost done for Bach, too. About 700 away from it. And they can't kill this dragon.
Rue wants it.
Focus fire, he might die for that.
Okay, Stun will be off the mark.
Be a little afraid. Cute little plays coming in. This ward, it's seeing Laurel. So Planet is on the hunt a bit here. He's going to grab the Lotuses first, but at least he has this information to potentially go for a play. If Laurel's not careful, he's pinging him.
I mean, if Bach's able to get in range as well for the follow-up.
Laurel is looking like he maybe wants to make a play himself on Bach, but I think now they're like, wait a minute, we have to be careful. We have no sentries down here. Ags finished for nothing to say now, 2 on top of everything as Naposhka. Comes like an easy grab.
Just not able to pull together any sort of play here, Spirit.
And now they have... Oh, and the timings are hit. They've got everything on Tidebound. Pipe Beastmaster, Ags BKB on the gyro. Yeah, they've got literally every item that they want to be able to play.
And in the mid.
Draft Spirit.
Planet, he's got eyes on Collapse.
How do they handle this now? Collapse.
He's going to get the blink off. But Planet's able to chase. Finds the setup. The team's here. We'll get a Burrow Strike off. But he's gone.
Nice burrow, but yeah, can't get himself away. Now Roche, it's on the table here for Tidebound. Yeah, they've hit literally every timing, and the timings for Spirit, it's just not being hit, at least to be able to fight back versus this. They need a lot more time. And they're not being giving it. This is one of the best pressure plays I've seen from Tidebound in this tournament. These last 2 games, the way they play the early game. Yeah, Roche is dead.
A planet. We're already looking for more. It's going to sweep through the bottom just in case he finds the Storm Spirit, but as it is, there's not going to be anyone down here this time.
I mean, for Spirit, the next big time that they have to rally around is just the double BKBs. I saw that Laurel was considering going for the Kaya Sanj, but I think I think he just has to go for BKB on the 2 cores, and then they have to just look for this attempted team fight to just try to break apart Tidebound, but it's, yeah, just not going to be easy, because they have a lot that goes through those BKBs too. Brew will get a nice sneaky play, so is able to at least take away that shrine to get some extra XP that they very much so need on the side of Spirit.
There's just been no slowdown for the Gyro. Shira
Not at all.
having a free game so far.
And Planet just continuing to do a lot of scouting as this Nyx Assassin, applying tons of pressure. Radon still no BKB.
Nothing to say, able to start the play.
He's going down.
Yeah, they're not able to bring anyone up. It's out. There's Radon. Taken out. Nothing to say, continuing to find these kills.
Tidebound's making it look easy today.
This is the super smooth sailing from them, in particular in this game too.
Yeah, they just have honestly, they have a great read of how Spirit's trying to play the game. And the fact that these lanes went as well as they did, and now, yeah, a 9,000 gold lead with a lineup that's playing versus just limited damage on the side of Spirit now with the counters that they have on Tidebound. Collapse has gone for a bit of a pivot also in his build. He's gone for a AVULUS.
I'm a Poshka.
He's found it. Oh, I actually never even pointed this out that Maposha went for exposure this game. I should have seen that. I should have said that, but we probably did point it out.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Lol. Not really much you can do. Maybe we'll collapse it. They'll go with the Epi over towards Planet. They get something.
And they get themselves out without losing anyone. It looks like they will. So they do get a kill, but they lose a tier 2. So
Tower has fallen.
Tidebound more than happy with losing a Nyx to trade for an epicenter.
And they need so much more than that, Spirit,
Yep.
Dire's
to try and come back into this game.
They're still so far from these BKBs too. There's the problem. Except for Don is nowhere near it still at this point in the game. Laurel, he does have his done,
Dire's
but it's just not an easy for him, as we said. You know, it's not just these little stunts. There's always going to be the roar that can come through also, and we'll see what Bach wants to go. If he even feels like he needs to get like a blink into his build, might not be necessary. They might just be able to approach the fights just walking in at them at this point when they're this far ahead. But maybe he might still get it. Rue has Shard now. 4-step is finished. Bach is smoked up. He does see the missile. He's chasing Rue. Looking to close the gap. He's got the Tumbler's toy.
Looks like he doesn't want to go for the high ground move. Maybe
Oh, not yet.
feels it's a bit too far. Expects that there might be backup behind Rue.
Sure. You know, he's playing it safe. Why not? Let Planet do the risky plays where he charges in forward. That's the Nyx Assassin job. As Planet is starting to lead the charge in toward bottom. They're starting to connect toward mid as well. See if Laurel's able to find a really nice power rune. Nope. It's bottom. Not a
Maposhka.
good one anyway.
Dangerous territory here from Maposhka.
Dead. Instant dead. No need to use the roll. 17-7. Just every single move continuing to hit for them. Laurel looking for nothing to say, but Y is here behind him.
Yeah, this ain't happening, surely. He's going to try to look towards Y instead. Does have to jump forward from Collapse. In with the Burrow Strike on towards Y, but Planet's in with the Spike Carapace and the stun. Shackle will connect, but do they actually have to damage? Y will get the escape act off him himself, and now Shiro turned up. Spirit have to get out of here.
And Collapse.
Caught by the Raw. Lyle was lucky enough to TP out.
Oh,
They're trying to make a play happen, Fog,
So
but
hard.
they're just too far behind.
Oh, and they can't even kill the 5 position. He pops Essence Ring. I think he tonics himself, gets the escape act. They have all the counters. They have all the answers.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, and a Lotus. I didn't execute. I think they threw a Lotus onto him too, so yeah. Fully sustained, fully prepared. Spirit tried to take advantage of them being split up for a moment there, but immediately reality sets back in.
Yeah, it feels like at this point their only chance of making a play is to have Radon involved.
Yeah.
They need that damage. They need the carry in the action because Radon, he wants to try and get at least what I think he has got the BKB done now, right? So the BKB is there.
He's so far behind. Just his damage, it doesn't feel like it's going to be nearly enough versus these 3 cores. They're so poor, Owen. They're so poor on these other two. I mean, I say on these other two, even Radon, not in a very healthy spot as this DK.
Shiro's just so far ahead. Yeah, he's had some excellent carry performances over the last couple of days.
Yeah, and Bach, okay. I figured he was going to kind of do this because he already has the blink coming in from the other two. He's just going to go AC. So look to just build that ball that they can play around, and then it puts the question to Spirit of, can you actually ever take a fight versus these auras that we have? We're answering the magical, and we're answering the physical.
Planet, look who he's found. Does have BKB TP, but he's gone for the TP first. Did not expect Planet to be watching him. So now the option of BKB TP is not going to be there for Radon. He'll get caught by the Roar. An unfortunate time there to try and TP out. He did not expect them to be watching him.
Honestly, Planet is making this Nyx look insanely good, and it's making it look like it potentially could be a hero that comes back. Just because how big the map is, you only have so many sentries, especially if you start falling behind the coverage. But also, I mean, Spirit, they're playing as if they just are forgetting about the Nyx quite a bit.
Yeah.
A couple of these pickoffs.
I guess on the plus, not using the BKB is probably fine, because there was a Beastmaster around.
I mean, he's going to...
Bug was going to get the Roar on him anyway. So, yeah, looking at the silver linings, it's like, hey, you know what? Didn't waste the BKB charge.
Sure. They're chilling, though. Tidebound. Looking toward bottom side. They have a Tormentor to take, so if they do want to back up and go for that, rather than going for a risky tier 2, they can. I say risky. It's not really the riskiest of tier 2, but yeah, you can go for the safe play if you want. Just go back up, pick up that Tormentor, since they do have... I mean, they have some good shards, so... If the Nyx even gets his too, right? The break, we don't talk about Nyx too much, but break being applied to versus the DK. Right now, the game feels like it's completely on your Toro. And if he gets broken, right, it's going to be even more devastating for him inside these fights. And it does go to Planet, so now he's got that Vendetta break too. Nullifier, I believe, also done for nothing to say. Continue to have a, honestly, unbelievable performance on his Pango. You might need to just get rid of these Embers and Pangos versus him.
I feel like, yeah.
Too much on them.
I think if you're Tidebound, you just get him on one of those two every single time if you can.
And now they have a Yules on the Sanking. They have 4 staffs, but this is going to be answered from this. Spirit, they've got the timing for the BK.
Here we go. Let's see how it goes. They're turning up with Radon, with the carry. What can they make happen?
Jumping on Bach.
Okay, they get the Vortex track back, but Shira's already moving in with the BKB. Collapse will buy some time in the air with the Yule Scepter. Shira's just running down Radon. Radon has to bail out of the fight. Collapse is going to get left behind. They don't find the jump that they are hoping for. Spirit, Rue, caught out by the damage from Shira. They're just pushing forward. Radon put the BKB, try and turn, but the Roar's there. Onto Radon. Radon falling low. Here's his BKB's about to come to an end. Collapse will come in with the Burrow Strike Epi, but the cleanup is just occurring here from Shiro. Ultra kill for him. Lar will try and jump forward, but the rampage is there for Shiro. They just cannot fight into them, Fogged. They're too far behind.
Too far behind, and the damage mitigation, you're truly seeing it. The pipe, the Mage Slayer's coming into play. Shiro lives with 500 HP. Laurel gives him the rampage right at the end of it, jumps into it to get hit from the flak.
Of course, to make that Burrow Strike Epi play, it was a buyback, a dieback from Collapse.
It was he landed pretty much the dream.
If they weren't 20k behind, maybe that would have done something.
It's the itemization, too. I just really have to highlight it. Pipe, Mage Slayer, AC, everyone's so tanky and durable. I think they also had 2 or 3 Gale Guards, if I'm not mistaken, so those things do add up. You've got this type of an advantage. AA Blast. Planet gets saved again.
Planet's going to be fine.
I mean, yeah, the escape act also in the last fight pretty much prevents all the aggression. A shackle, but just a shackle.
They'll soon have their cores back up. They do at least still have a tier 2 on the side lane, and as it is Tidebound, they'll back off from the mid push. Respect the fact that Radon is going to be back in the game.
No need to risk anything at this point. They can back up, wait for Rush, and just wait for the fights to come to them. I mean, Spirit, that last fight showed how far behind they are. They can do no damage. Shiro level 20. Butterfly soon on the horizon for him too. Yeah, and just the itemization too from the supports as we saw. The Glimmer, of course, when you're playing versus with this, you know, Pipe, Mage Slayer, etc. versus heavy magic damage, getting that as well. Insult to injury. Another smoke. They showed Miposhka mid.
Yeah, nothing to say. It's just going straight for him. In with the Rolling Thunder. That's the AA out of the fight.
Radon also caught.
Straight over towards Radon and Rue.
They can't
and over to Lal. Nothing to say. It's just hitting them all with these Rolling Thunders. Always finds the angles. Double kill for him. He's ready to move on for more. Roar onto Rue. Rue's gone. Radan will get out with a BKB TP.
This game is so done. There's nothing they can do. Anytime someone shows, they just run at him. Roche is up. They don't need to play it safe. They can if they want, but they can close this
They
game
can
out.
run it down the mid here.
Yeah, they are way too far ahead. What a series from
Yeah.
Tidebound.
Game 1 we had Spirit give it a little bit of a fight, but this game 2,
Yep, truly.
they've looked completely helpless.
Yeah, truly, honestly, the last pick, Nick's absolutely working.
Planet's had a great game.
They got away with the lane from it, and he's found an insane amount of pickoffs. So
Yeah.
I just want to highlight for him is the final attempt from Spirit. They're trying to cut waves.
Radiant's
The Planet immediately finding him again.
We'll get away with the Burrow Strike collapse.
Wait, what did he nullify? What? His own allies Yules and it got eaten? Oh. Okay. I was like, he was trying to nullify. I guess he thought it was the enemy Yules, but it was his teammate, so it actually ended up doing nothing. I actually did not know that it could even... I didn't know that even worked like this. Okay, whatever. Either way, Roche will be able to claim easily.
Are they close to any item?
No.
Spirit, what have we got?
Nothing that'll change anything. I mean, they are close to some items, but it's like a Witchblade on Laurel, right? Like, that's not gonna do a whole lot of anything. Collapse does have a BKB, but yeah, the damage just, it's truly...
Shira just kills them all. Yeah, he is primed and ready to pick up another Rampage even maybe this game.
Yeah, why not? He's got the Revenant's Brooch, I believe, finished up. Yeah, serve rate, farm that he's had. A flawless performance from him. I mean, a flawless team performance, it feels like, this time around in this series. Just little to no mistakes from the side of Tidebound in both these games. I mean, last one they got maybe a couple pickoffs that they gave up, but yeah. This has been a beautiful game to watch from them. Beautiful series as the banner is at the ready. Here comes the final onslaught. Ancient Granite, Golem also. A little more HP for the team. I'd say a little, 20%. But they'll take it out. Nothing to say. Ready to jump.
Trying to burst him down low. The missile connects into the Rolling Thunder. They're straight over towards Collapse. Collapse is not even going to get the chance to get the BKB or anything off. He's just dead.
And the back line. Everybody's dying.
And Planet, he's ready to move in. Over towards Lal. Lal will survive. The space there, though, for Team Tidebound to take this bottom set of racks.
That's the Megas.
So they can do anything with these buybacks. Radan is trying to take it down the once, but the roar comes out onto Radan. Triple kill for Shiro, who will fall the once with the Aegis, but Spirit, they're running out of lives. GG is called. Tidebound take game 2, and with that, knocking Spirit out 2-0.
In such a convincing fashion, honestly. This is insane gameplays coming out from Tidebound. Collapse, he'll even throw a tip over to Baku. Yeah, there's...